About 75% of females have had a yeast infection, and about 50% of women will have them more than once. Today's Bite of Knowledge, I'm talking all about yeast infections and how to get rid of them in about 3 days. And we're doing all the home remedies, all the things. So if you are one to have frequent yeast infections or know someone that has, listen up, pass it on, share the episode. These are great tips that you don't want to miss. You're listening to the Digest This podcast, and I'm your host, Bethany Cameron. Let's get right into it. My husband thinks I'm OCD when it comes to my night routine. So I wash my face, put my face serums on, tongue scrape, change my pillowcase every other night to help prevent bacteria build up when I lay my head on my pillow, which is a hot tip, you guys. Change your pillowcase. And I take my Ned Sleep Blend. Whenever I take it, I have the absolute best sleep and do not wake up groggy the next morning. There's no melatonin in it, which melatonin has actually been shown to alter your hormones because it technically is one. Did you guys know melatonin's a hormone? Ned's Sleep Blend contains not only CBD, but also CBN, which has shown in studies to specifically help sleep. Other organic botanicals shown to help sleep are also added, such as lemon balm and passion flower. All these ingredients work cohesively, creating the perfect blend to help anyone struggling with sleep. I've been a fan of Ned for about 4 years, way before anyone actually knew about them. And I've even had the co-owner come on the show. The reason I love Ned is not only do they have products that actually work, but they're transparent with every ingredient and product they have, and everything is third-party tested. Their CBD is outdoor grown, not in a greenhouse. It's organic certified, made in small batches, and cold extracted. Many other CBD brands use chemical solvents and heat to extract the botanicals, resulting in an inferior and often toxic product. But Ned is different, and that's why I personally consume their products and even recommend it to my family. So if you're looking for a better night's sleep and want to become the best version of yourself, I highly recommend Ned's Sleep Blend. You can get 15% off all of Ned's products with code DIGEST. Just go to helloned.com/digest or enter code DIGEST at checkout. Again, that's helloned.com/digest to get 15% off. Thank you, Ned, for sponsoring the show and offering my listeners a natural remedy for some of life's most common health issues. So I'm kind of excited to announce this. Every month, I'm going to be giving away quality items that I personally love to several of my podcast listeners that simply give the show a rating and review. That's all you have to do to qualify to win. And for the month of August, I'm giving away sets of Yo Mama's keto certified condiments like ketchup, hot sauces, and their all natural, low carb, low sugar pasta sauces made with simple, minimal ingredients. These sauces are low sodium, contain no added sugar, and are made with healthy olive oil and fresh tomatoes, and no citric acid. Yo Mama's is a company that produces their sauces in small batches, which I absolutely love. And I know you'll love them too. So 3 of my listeners will receive $65 worth of quality sauce. That's $65 worth of sauce. And all you have to do to enter is just rate and review this podcast. And I will be reaching out to you on Instagram if chosen. So be sure you leave your IG handle in your review. Good luck. So what exactly is a yeast infection? So simply put, it's a fungal disease, and one area it aims is the genital region, more specifically called a vaginal yeast infection in women. Females are more inclined to get them. However, males can also be affected and contract this fungal infection. Now, for women, symptoms can be anywhere from itching and irritation in the vagina and vulva area, a burning sensation, especially during intercourse or while urinating, a vaginal rash, vaginal pain and soreness, redness and swelling of the vulva, painful sex, thick, white, odor-free vaginal discharge with a cottage cheese appearance, and also just watery vaginal discharge. Now, these are all symptoms and signs to look for when you have a yeast infection. And now, with many wanting to go the more holistic and natural approach to getting rid of yeast infections due to complications and side effects from antibiotics and medications, there are still several avenues to go about killing off a yeast infection, even naturally. And some remedies may work for certain individuals. Other remedies may work better for others suffering. So here are a few tried and true approaches when it comes to killing off the yeast fast, so you can get back to your everyday life. Now, I'm starting off with mentioning over-the-counter antifungal suppositories. Now, all these can be purchased without a prescription and are available to even buy online, or like pharmacies, drugstores, even grocery stores have them. Antifungal suppositories have been demonstrated to heal over 80% of vaginal yeast infections. One thing to note is that once you start a round of these nightly suppositories, you must finish the entire treatment. Even if you start to see improvement, you have to finish it. Now, I know many still don't want to use these over-the-counter medications, so if that's you, here are a few other options. Now, vaginal boric acid suppositories do in fact exist, and many get the job done for females with a yeast infection. These might be particularly helpful for women with recurrent ones. Another option would be tea tree oil. That's great, especially if you have reoccurring ones, just something to have in your medicine cabinet at all times. An overview of research with this critical oil affirmed its capacity to kill a variety of yeast and fungi. And in nearly all the studies examined, tea tree oil has also been analyzed on Candida albicans, and these are the most common yeasts in vaginal infections. Probiotic supplements are also great. Now, some probiotic supplements can provide a natural remedy to yeast infections. The goal is to restore the balance of yeast and bacteria in the uterus. And check this out. In a clinical review, almost 87% reported an improvement in their symptoms. Of course, you want to make sure it's a quality probiotic, one that is alive and will survive your stomach acid. I personally take a variety of probiotics in my regimen. I consume cultured yogurt several times a day. I add it to my smoothies and also mix it with my digestive support protein powder, which also has probiotics, but the probiotic in my own protein powder is different from those found in yogurts. Now, in yogurt, the strains are typically Lactobacillus B and S. thermophilus, which those are great strains. However, the probiotic I chose to include in my protein powder is Bacillus coagulans, which does not need refrigeration and has actually been clinically shown to specifically target yeast and candida overgrowth, making it the probiotic strain to help fight a yeast infection. You can get my protein powder if you go to newzest-usa.com/Bethany's Pantry. And there I have cacao, vanilla, and now strawberry. Again, that's newzest-usa.com/Bethany's pantry. Now, this powder contains no stevia, no monk fruit, no gums or fillers, and no natural flavors. It's lightly sweetened with organic coconut sugar with only 3 to 5 grams per serving, depending on the flavor that you get. And the pea protein itself is different than others because we use a special extraction process that removes the lectins, also known as the anti-nutrients typically found in peas and other pea protein powders on the market. That's why so many come back and tell me that they can digest my protein powder, but not others, and wonder why. Well, this is why the lectins are removed. I also love the probiotic seed. Now, this is not just a probiotic, but also a prebiotic. And prebiotics are what feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Remember, probiotics are living organisms too, and they also need food to thrive in your gut. That's where prebiotics come in. So what does Seeds DS-01 actually do? Many think of the pre and probiotics as only gut support, but it does way more than that. Yes, it does support the gut barrier, which is where most of our immunity is and a vital part of our health. But Seeds DS-01 also supports other areas of the body for whole body benefits, including skin health, heart health, and micronutrient synthesis. Many have even noticed clearer skin since the gut controls almost all areas of our body. Healthy regularity and an ease of bloating are just a few other common perks you may experience, some in as little as 24 hours. Each person does react differently, of course, and you can't substitute a pill for a healthy diet. So when I take it, I make sure it's in the morning on an empty stomach for it to thoroughly do its job. And with their sustainable biomaterials and refill system delivered each month, they are making more of an impact on the earth beyond our own bodies. So is there such a thing as taking too many probiotics? Well, I personally take a variety of probiotics to help check off all the boxes because I know I'm taking different strains. So that's really one thing to note is know what you're taking because different probiotics contain different strains. And that's why I choose the things that I choose. So I've never had any negative effects from taking these different probiotics at once. And I get asked this question all the time on my Instagram, like, is there such a thing as too many probiotics? So if you're taking a variety of different strains, I've personally never experienced any negative side effects. Now, all that to say, again, there is such a thing as too much, right? Too much of a good thing is not a good thing. Like you can even have too much water, right? However, just like eating salmon, you don't have to eat salmon every night for dinner to get the benefits of it. 2 to 3 nights a week of salmon is more than enough to get the benefits of salmon. Same thing with seed. You can take it every other day, and I even recommend doing that just if you're starting off, just in general, take it every other day. Then gradually work your way up once a day. And if you even feel the need to, right? If you're feeling great consuming it every other day, then keep that routine. Why change what's working? So if you want a discount on Seed, you can go to seed.com/digest and use code DIGEST to redeem 30% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. Again, that's seed.com/digest and use code DIGEST. SEED.com/digest. For anyone that loves chocolate and peanut butter, I have to tell you about Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Okay, do I have your attention? I bet you thought this was an ad for them, right? On the contrary, but I actually created my very own limited edition spin-off version of them, and you can now purchase them for a limited time because there were only limited quantities made. These peanut-free chocolate cups are paleo, keto, and vegan. They're organic certified and contain absolutely zero sugar or sugar substitutes in the ingredient list. Just 4 simple organic ingredients made from pure cacao, cacao butter, freshly ground coconut, and cashew butter. There's only 1 gram of sugar in these that naturally occurs in the cashews. There's even 3 grams of fiber per chocolate cup to help feed the good bacteria in your gut. And the compounds in pure quality unsweetened chocolate have actually been shown to help with gut health and the probiotics in your belly to thrive. I wanted to create something that's never been created, offered, or on the market before for everyone looking for a better nut butter chocolate cup alternative that's free from peanuts, sugar alcohols, flavorings, emulsifiers, or fillers. And now there's finally something out there that exists. These won't last long, so go to eatingevolved.com/lilsipper to grab a box or 2 or 3. Again, that's eatingevolved.com/lilsipper, or you can click the link in today's show notes for one easy tap that will take you straight to the page. I hope you guys love these as much as I do. Now, another great remedy is natural yogurt. And now I'm not talking about eating yogurt, but I'm talking about actually topically putting it on the infected area. Yes, you heard me right. I've even done it myself, so I can attest, and it actually helps. A 2006 evaluation of the study found that many men and women reported relief from topically applying unsweetened plain yogurt around the infected area. Now, obviously, make sure the yogurt is fresh and untainted. And again, only unsweetened plain yogurt, none of that fruity stuff, you guys. Raw organic coconut oil may also be implemented internally or externally to alleviate symptoms. Now, there are studies suggesting coconut oil is truly antibacterial and antifungal. Interestingly enough, coconut oil just does not agree with me personally, and I did this when I had a yeast infection and it actually made it worse. So this just goes to show that each person will react differently to different remedies. So keep this in mind when trying different methods. Okay, where are my garlic fans out there? All right, I love a good garlic toast. I love just adding garlic to different recipes. I even just love eating roasted air-fried garlic. It's so good. But garlic is a known antibiotic and antifungal. You can, of course, take garlic pills and eat raw garlic, which may cause other IBS symptoms, raw garlic. So the most effective way has actually been shown, get this, you guys, I know I'm pausing, but putting a clove right up the vagina. I actually had a guest on my show a while back who recommended this ancient method, and this was the very first time I had ever heard about this. I was a little taken back, but apparently it's been a home remedy for ages. I would personally, however, be very careful if considering this and instead try other methods first. There are vaginal creams out there containing rosemary and garlic that have been proven to be just as effective as the over-the-counter medications. So you can go look for that cream. They're out there. Now, many home remedies are safe for most individuals with yeast infections. However, certain individuals shouldn't attempt to treat themselves. These individuals are pregnant women and anyone that has been subjected to a sexual transmitted disease. Now, the best way to stay clear from a yeast infection is prevention. So if you don't want one or perhaps are susceptible to one, here are a few tips to help prevent it and just keep things at bay. Wearing loose fitted clothing and 100% organic cotton underwear, that's a must. Changing from wet swimwear or gym clothes as soon as you can and just not hanging out in those wet, sweaty clothes or swimsuits. Showering and peeing immediately after sex. Carrying probiotics or ingesting probiotic-rich foods on a regular basis. reducing your sugar and carbs in your diet. This is huge because yeast and fungi feed on glucose. I know a lot of women just feel better in general, myself included, when following a lower sugar, low carb diet. They experience less bloating, less gas, and just have more energy overall. Now, it's also important to note that if you do have a yeast infection and symptoms don't improve within a couple of days after trying home remedies, please do seek medical care. I hope you're enjoying these shorter episodes, and they come out every Monday, which are called Bites of Knowledge. And the longer episodes come out every Wednesday. So you've got 2 of me twice a week. I hope you enjoyed this week's Bite of Knowledge on the Digest This podcast. And if you did, please share it with one person and write a review in your Apple podcast app. This is a free way to support the show and myself, and it's truly appreciated. See you guys this Wednesday for an interview you don't want to miss. Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Resonant Media production produced by Drake Peterson and edited by Mike Fry. To email the show, message us at digestthispod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.